What's up, everybody? It is Thegoal60 here for Saturday, June the 9th, 2018. So yesterday we started off with 5 new series, 5 official plays, and they did treat us right. We went 4-1 yesterday, and the only loss we had was Atlanta on the road to the Dodgers. Today we looked to bounce back with that B-bet, and also the unofficial plays went 4-2 yesterday, so they had a pretty good day as well, and we looked for those 2 B-bets to cash in a day also. Now, before we talk about Atlanta today, let's go ahead and recap the other 4 games yesterday. And they were the Angels, who won 4-2. Now, that game started out, and for a long time, the Angels were tied up 1-1. They actually went down 2-1, and then late in the game had a pretty good inning where they scored 3 runs to be up 4-2, and that's how it finished. So the Angels get us a win there against the Twins on the road. Next up, we had the Yankees in the Subway Series against the Mets. So the Yankees yesterday, Tanaka was the pitcher that we had going. On the other side, we were facing DeGrom. So I knew that was going to be tough, and that's really why that line was as low as it was. DeGrom came out. He had a pretty decent game, but at the same time, the Yankees were pretty consistent on how they were hitting. Came out and scored 4 runs and won the game 4-1. So that was the second win for us on the official plays. The third came from the Diamondbacks, who were on the road against the Rockies. I guess you can kind of see a trend here. The first 3 plays, we were on the road. The Diamondbacks came out, and it was kind of back and forth for the first few innings, and then they kind of had a really good run. As the game went on, they got more and more consistent, put up runs. A couple different innings, put up 1 or 2 runs. Ended up winning the game 9-4. So that was the third win. And then the fourth win was the revenge play, which was Miami at home against San Diego. Now, Miami was a -144 favorite in this game, and for the right reasons. They came out and got the 4-0 win. They shut them out at home. That's what we needed, an A-bet win right off the bat, and that worked out for us. Official play we had was Atlanta. It was late last night. They're on the road against the Dodgers, and we had them on the run line. So we just need them to stay within 1 run, and we would have cashed that as well. Problem is that they came out there, and Atlanta really, they gave up a lot of homers. At one point, there may be more at the end of the game, but at one point I think they gave up 3 or 4 home runs to the Dodgers. So they actually had, they're pretty close for a long time as far as hits. They just couldn't get on the board. And this, for whatever reason, this is, kind of like a trend here. Atlanta, we played on them recently. And the first game they came out, I believe it was the first part of last week, and they came out and just couldn't get anything going in game 1. They had some hits, but just couldn't get on the board. State game, they had a lot better day. Opposite, but actually the same for the Dodgers. The Dodgers last week, we were betting against them with the Pirates. Then the first game, the Pirates did the same thing Atlanta did last night. They had the hits to match the Dodgers. They just could not get the runs on the board. And the Dodgers held on for the win. Second night, the Pirates came out and got us a B-bet win. So I'm hoping that trend continues. I hope that Atlanta comes in tonight and takes care of business and gets the win. Of course, they are the underdog at the LA Dodgers, and that means that you would look at the run line. Now, the run line is right around what it was yesterday. Yesterday's price I put out on the video was -129, and today's price is at -132. Now, line has went up. Last night I seen it. It was somewhere around 120 to 125, just according to who you were looking at. And so that means that it is going, the people were putting money on Atlanta, and hopefully that's a good sign. Hopefully that means that some really smart people, quote unquote sharps, put money on it overnight, but you never know. It could be all public money, and it could be a bunch of drunk hockey players that are still celebrating from the Capitals win the other night come around and throw some money down. You never know. But either way, that is the price on Atlanta, and the B-bet is on the run line, -132. And we are looking to win 2.29 units. We're looking to win everything we lost yesterday, plus the original unit we set out to win. So yesterday we lost 1.29 units. We also wanted to win 1 unit. Put those together, and you get 2.29 units. So that's the goal today, is to hit that. That is the only official play. Now I'll go over all the unofficial plays from yesterday and today. All right, so just a little bit of housekeeping before I jump into recapping everything from yesterday as far as unofficial plays. Yesterday's video, I did make a mistake, and I think it was the very first game I talked about. I had said that on Thursday the Astros had lost and that they would be a second game yesterday, and I was completely wrong. I just looked at the score wrong for whatever reason. In the mornings when I'm putting these videos out, especially during the week from Monday to Friday, I'm doing this before I head to work. So you've got to understand that I'm kind of, trying to get everything done and also going over scores and everything. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying I read the score wrong. And then for whatever reason, when I was going back after I edited the video and was uploading it, that's generally about the time that I've got to be hitting the road. And I noticed the mistake. So what I do ask of you guys is that you please read the description, because I have made mistakes in the past, and I try to own up to all those. So just make sure you read those descriptions. I try to post them if there is something there, and I try to keep the description as brief as I can, especially at the top where I'm talking about the video. And I also, if you follow me on Twitter, when I went to post the video there, I actually put in the tweet itself, hey, the Astros had won yesterday. They're not an unofficial play. Luckily, the mistake came on an unofficial play either way. So what I've found generally is if you guys, the ones of you that have communicated to me that you are following the unofficial plays, one thing that you are generally doing is you're actually keeping up with the games yourself. And so that helps. That's a good thing as far as, keeping the scores and keeping kind of bookkeeping yourself. And that way you keep me in check, and I do appreciate that. I have no problem, admitting I made a mistake there, but I just wanted to clear that up. I apologize for that. Obviously, whenever I left here, I didn't have time to edit and take that portion out or change that video in any way, so that's why it was still on the video. I just try to put in the description that, hey, I messed up, and this is the correct way. It shouldn't have been an unofficial. But either way, let's talk about yesterday's unofficial plays. They did go 4-2 yesterday, so if you're following those, you had a pretty good day on those as well. The first win was Cleveland at Detroit. Cleveland got the victory 4-1. The next one was the Cubs were at home against the Pirates. They did win that game 3-1. That was a day game yesterday. It was the only day game that we had on yesterday. And I really wish that there was more day games on Fridays. I don't understand why there's not. I guess they're looking at everybody that's take the family out on Friday night. But at the same time, I would think if I was putting these things together that people that want to go to a day game, wouldn't go on a Tuesday. They may go on a Friday during the middle of the day because they get off work easier or whatnot. But either way, that's off the subject. That's just me rambling. Next up, we had Milwaukee at the Phillies. Now, Milwaukee was a underdog in that game, and yesterday we talked about taking the run line if you were paying attention to it. They came out and absolutely destroyed the Phillies 12-4. And at one time, I believe it was 12-1. Phillies had a pretty good ending of the game there where they had 3 runs late, but it was nowhere near close getting to the win. As far as the last win on unofficial plays was actually a potential revenge play. And the RPI is what set that off as not being a revenge play, but I went ahead and said that as far as if it had met RPI, this is what we would have done. And that was to take the run line against the Cardinals. Now, that game was pretty interesting. It was 6-4 in the bottom of the ninth. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was weather or if something may have happened, but there was a slight delay for a few minutes in that game, and it worked in the Reds' favor. They came out, scored 2 runs to tie it up, put it into extra innings. They did end up losing the game, but it was 7-6, so you would have cashed that by the run line bet, staying within 1.5 runs. As far as the 2 losses on the unofficial plays and that will be plays today, the first one is the Red Sox. The Red Sox are at home against the White Sox. Now, yesterday's video, I kind of expressed, how I just flat out told you I would never touch that. The Red Sox were at home minus 309. They had Chris Sale on the mound. I understand that. He's lights out. He was taking on his old team. And I've said it time and time again, in baseball and in other sports, anything can happen any day. So anytime I see a line like that, I completely stay away. There's no reason that you should have to put up $3.09 to win one. That's completely dumb, just to be honest. So therefore, I would have stayed away. Sure enough, they lost the game 1-0. So if you took the White Sox for whatever reason, if it was just a gamble and you wanted to play for some really nice plus money, you took around, I believe, plus 260 on a 1-0 game. So that was kind of crazy. Now the Red Sox do go again today, obviously, and the line is minus 218. I believe it's David Price on the mound, which has kind of been up and down. He's really getting this money, I think, because of his career, his past. He was a lights-out pitcher at one time, so that obviously bumps it up. And also, being the Red Sox, that's going to bump it up at home as well. So the price being 218, that still, to me, looks a little high. But if you're paying attention to that unofficial bet, good luck. The last one is the San Francisco Giants at the Nationals. And the Nationals were obviously to play yesterday. They're higher in RPI. They were minus 195, and they did lose as well. Today, and they actually lost 9-5, so pretty bad loss there. Today, they go off as a minus 169, which is not really bad at all if you're paying attention to that one. So that's not too bad a price there on the Nationals at 169. That is it for today. We've got the one official B bet with Atlanta on the run line, and then if you're paying attention to the unofficials, you've got two with Boston and the Nationals. Thank you very much for watching this video, taking the time out of your day to do it, and I will see you tomorrow morning.
60% of the time, it works every time.